G'day viewers, I've been a while, been busy flat out. Sold a bunch of fridges and I've got a bunch more to sell. That one there all works, does all work. That one just needs a thermostat, that works. This and a defrost's gone. Okay viewers, well the battery just went flat in this bloody thing. As I was saying, was this one here is working quite well. The defrost and everything, the mechanical timer works, so I've replaced that. But you hear that fan? Well, I think the actual heating element is gone, so I'll try and track down the heating element for this, and I can solve this one. The Panasonic compressor, the condenser down there with the fan, that's actually a good system. Now these all these fridges all work, even this one here without the door, which I'm going to take the goods out of this one. This one there's leaked, it's refrigerant. This is the one I replaced the compressor in. Yeah, it's a slow leak somewhere in the evaporator, so I'm going to take the goods out of this, the whole bottom plate, and redo all this fridge here, put the door on this one and get this one here going. Slightly different, ML, FJ383ML, FJ383QL, made in Australia by Email Limited, both were R134A units, this one here still is an R134A unit. Do not charge with flammable refrigerant. No choice nowadays. But I plugged this one in, it actually did get cold. So, and the timer in this one, the mechanical timer actually works. So I'm going to gut that one out for parts and make this one a good working freezer and sell it. And bright the compressor. Where's the date? 1997. 1997-98. So this actually works quite well, this one, even though it doesn't have a door, but it tested fine. There's all work, all these fridges all work. I've got a couple more too since this one here works. Reset the defrosting, this one here works quite well. That's a cosmetically nice, this one I did a lot. That one works, that Fisher & Paykel works after I played with the thermostat, which the thermostat's dicky, it's full of ants, so I've got to replace the thermostat of that. Well yeah, this thermostat's probably doing anyway. Hasn't broken it, I don't think anyway. I don't think this is broken, but I'll take it out of this one, put it in here, clean this one here up, and put it in that Fisher & Paykel. Couple of scores of a nice air compressor booster tank. Picked up a European made Frigidaire fridge on the side of the road. Nothing wrong with it, it works fine. White condenser, it's unusual, looks like an Italian made compressor of some sort. Not in the spare, I'd be something similar to that. Fix up that bar fridge HV350 sealed the door gasket, which is split. Fix all that up. More projects, I'm expanding a little bit. Put a new veranda up here, park my lawnmower. And I'm going to redo that veranda that'll be taken down and redone. Make it all better. I've replaced the thermostat in the older spare powered friggin' Astral freezer. Yeah, I've been meaning to change the thermostat in that, but I haven't got around to it. That's all done, it works quite well now. That's what de-enfrost thermostat in that, which is like in that freezer, that the door I showed. Has 4 terminals on it, and I was able to map out what went where. And compared it with this old Italian made thermostat, which is the contact's just rooted. The compressor just wasn't starting and running properly with that burnt contact. This thing was just too unreliable. I had to rack it and it would start up again. So that just has 2 there, another set of contacts which goes to the switch at the front of the freezer, which takes this out of the equation, and they can run it indefinitely without this turning the power off. So I needed a 4 terminal to replace this terminal, 4 terminal, which I got one of those modern de-enfrost thermostats to replace it. But those terminals aren't numbered, so I had to figure it out and go from where and figure it out there what went where. I've got some vapes to get some batteries out of, so I can go get the batteries out of those and the rest and go to me make the scrapper. Nothing else much happening. Pretty much it. Been bloody busy at work. scored some more stuff, you can see. Scored me some good factory second forward drive dual purpose starting / deep cycle batteries. Pretty cheap, so they're brownie but they were cheap, so I'm going to use those for my off-grid. They were dual purpose deep cycle and starting batteries. They were great for my off-grid setup. Scored some UPSs, which I got the one set of batteries is completely rooted, and I've got the transformers out of those. Make up a little hot flame cutter setup for someone. Those are the deadest, driest ones. We've got 2 good CSBs that need to be re-acided. Yeah, found that battery on the road, which it's a knockoff Makita battery. It's gone, been flooded, so that's not going to work. Just an experiment, but nah, we're dead. Anyway. Yours, just another update on things while I'm off the topic of fridges for a bit. I'm extending my little area here. I have my fridges storage / selling fridges out of here, and parking my lawnmower and even get a car under here now. There's a house up the road, been abandoned for 10 years. The old lady died, and the house was abandoned for 10 or so years. They just remodeled the house and stripped it and gutted it, and I asked, yeah, I can have these air conditioners from it. House was built probably about 10 years before my house was built. So I think the house of the dated late 60s the house was built. Same on stumps, brick, tiled roof, much the same fashion as this house. But I had this in it, which I've loading on a trailer. Stupid asshole me, I cracked the pipe and let all the R22 out of it. So it's 1.2 kilos of R22. It was 1.2 kilos of R22. 1,247 grams. That's probably, I think it's about $350 worth. Bit of a big mess up on my behalf, but I should have been more careful. But anyway, it's not a big deal. It's, you can still buy R22, but it's just ridiculously expensive. I would have preferred not to have done that, but I wasn't bloody careful, so I should have known better. Stupid me. It's a Pope Dove, Australian-made air conditioner. It's early 70s. Tecumseh compressor. 240 volt, 50 hertz AC, R22, 4 load amps. I can't see the stamping. Let's see. It's 1.8 kilowatts, cool, 1.4 kilowatts of heating. 10 amps, this compressor pulls under 4 load with R22 on it. I'm going to put other refrigerants in there anyway, so now they've lost the R22, I'm going to experiment putting other refrigerants in here that'll use less power. R22 is still the refrigerant of choice for refrigeration enthusiasts. They can still get R22. I've got a Frigimate. I know pretty well. He recently bought a 12 kilo jug of R22. 12 kilo jug, little tank like that. $3.5 grand. So you can still buy it, but this particular unit we needed to put it in was an R22 unit, and they wanted to put the original R22 back in it after changing the compressor in it, because R32 isn't good. It's shit. If I put R32 on this, it'll use more power. R32 is only designed for little throwaway shit boxes, but R32 is flammable, and that's going to phase that in now within the next 10 years. 410A is basically R22 with the chlorine taken out of it. So it's kind of like dechlorinated R22, which is 410A. 410A has no chlorine, so it won't hurt the ozone layer, but it has almost 3 times the global warming potential of R22. Let's just say, if I looked at the label and this thing said R12 on it, I would have definitely taken a lot more care and not to damage the lines. More so because the R12 was having it for old fridges, even though I like R152A pretty much better, but in that respect, still would have kept it. Because yeah, it works very well with these older units. I was thinking this was R12, but no, it's an early R22 unit. So I scored that. I just fixed up my crack. Got the shell for it to the front plates missing. It had that on it, and it had this the filter, which I've kept the little filter that goes over. It's a foot that goes over here. So I've kept all that. See, it's fizzing out of the oil. Sort of hear it bubbling. I'll have to vacuum that down. Man, I could put R22 back in this thing, but I see what my mate says. It's like, he didn't pay a lot of money for that bloody that gas. But I think I might have put R150 in here. I reckon it'll work less harder on the compressor, and it'll work just as well. So I got that, and I got an old email weather wall. I think that's as original to when the house was built. So I found a date code in here of 1967. So these things are absolutely friggin' bulletproof. You could not break these things. Nowadays, an air conditioner needs a firmware update, they're going to throw it in the bin. Lysart, galvanised, made in Australia. Let's see, 14/28 from 1967. A date code on that. It's a Kelvinator compressor. These are tanks. There's still many of these in service today. Nice compressor. That's got the Kirby service valve on it too. The fan needs a repair. It's something jammed it. I kind of manhandled this a bit rough, but the coil's not damaged. Email packaged air conditioner. The best air conditioners ever made. R22, 3 pounds and 5 ounces. 13.8 amps on that full loaded. The model was HP20A. Let's see, 2,500 RPM on the compressor motor. 2,900 on that motor in there. One phase, 240 volts, 12 amps. 1430 RPM for the indoor fan. 0.99 amps and 940 on the outdoor fan. 2.25 horsepower. They don't rate air conditioners and horsepower anymore. They've got some other kilowatt reading and things like that now. Westinghouse motor, 50 cycles, not hertz, cycles. So it's before hertz was mainstream. Made in Australia by Brinsmead Electrical. Brinsmead made all sorts of fans in Australia. Nowadays we've got junk from China. Brinsmead made exhaust fans as well. They made all sorts of condenser fans as well in that industry. We'll fix that. 12 amps. Ooh, I could technically run that off my 3 kilowatt inverter. But yeah, I'm gonna need a lot more beef up my batteries, I think. This will run that. But yeah, as I said, you put on 12 amps at 240 volts. So you put on about 220 amps on the on 12 volts. Yeah, should be hungry on the batteries. So that was a back. I got the plate that goes on that. I know what I did with the plate. I got the little plate that goes in the back of that. That was air goes in here, I think. Blows it out, comes it through here and blows it out there. So you seal this off. I got to panel bet that back to shape. Seal this off, and this was, I think, was blown out of the outdoor air. And this section here, poured the house air in, through the coil and blow it back out. Return air and out there. So, yeah, I definitely kept the back plate. Was off the panel bet that thing back to shape. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's a critical part for that thing to work properly. Wicked XC has one of these with a Mitsubishi compressor in it. So his is newer. This one's got an Australian-made tank in it. So your main power goes in, but this wiring I'll have to try and redecipher that for the switching for the fans. That'll be a selection for heat and cold. Black, red and green. White and red, the thick ones for your compressor. The yellow, black and blue be for your reverse cycling valve and the fans, high and low I think. Bit of capacitor oil there, I'll have to investigate that. I thought it was compressor was from the capacitors in there, so that might be a bit of a PCB scare, but I'll be careful and just change them out. Manufacturer EMAL Limited, AC and RDiv Melbourne. This is the dawn, the actual, this is when reverse cycle air conditioning peaked. This outlasted the house. Nowadays, air conditioners outlasted the last mill you ate. Barely. Yeah, it's a good compressor, that. They use on cool rooms and outdoor refrigeration units for some of the local restaurants use those compressors. I'll take that apart and have a look. Just replace those capacitors as a precautionary. I've got my mate's a scrapper who knows what he's doing with that sort of stuff, so. Or sort of take extra care. See, the indoor vents went in here, bolted to the house. Clipped to the wall, I got some of the bracketing as well. Yeah, cool to have it in my shed. A little insulated box somewhere. This is definitely a reverse cycle. There it is, the cycle reversing valve. Roller, the speaker manufacturer. They made speakers for Valve Radios, that company. I'll just show how old this thing is. Yeah, there's all the capacitors, and I'll have to do some reverse engineering in the wiring in this. This will require some reverse engineering. But this house, the switchboard was upgraded, but that was it. This is all the original wiring in the house, solid core. The switchboard was all modern with RCD, so it must have been done before this lady in this house died 10 years ago. And yeah, there's an old car, Mazda and everything, 1909, but that got scrapped. That sat in the carport. There was a couple of later model Australian-made Westinghouse fridges that I threw on the skips because they were for the manky food. No one knew, but yeah, well. This house was only on the market for 5 days and it already sold, so it's a pretty hot bit of property. And I got what I wanted. Little HPM. Nice old, the old HPM logo from the 60s. 10 amp, 250 volt. Amazing, still intact. Now this one panel bedding, it's nice and small, it doesn't take that much space, so I could probably put this away somewhere, aside. It won't take that much space. That's a bonus. There is another air conditioner, it's a little Mitsubishi from the late 80s. It's about that big, which they'll probably keep that there. It's nothing special, not like this. As I said, bit of a bummer I did that. I should have bloody known better, but now I'm kicking myself on the arse. But no big loss. I can easily save this and regas it. I've got that tightened up, the service valve there. I'll run it anyway. Show you that it works. It's not going to do much because there's no gas in it. Yeah, it's not going to do much at all. Just whatever little bit of vapour's in the oil. That cap's been replaced. That's for the fan. Yeah, a little tiny whiff of cold. But that's just what's fizzing out of the oil. Reverse cycling valve works different in here. Colder, warmer, cooler. There's no shh with a switch. This works, and it was not going to do anything there because it hasn't got the bloody gas to make the thermostat work. Low fan. Would love to see it actually cooling and heating, but it's probably the first time it's been turned on in God knows how long. Yeah, it's at least 20 years since this has ever been run. That's not a puncher either. That was done by the people who removed it. It hasn't compromised this line in any way. It just looks ugly. Yeah, a bit of, as I said, there's only a little bit of fizzing into the oil. That's all that's in there. capacitor. That's a compressor capacitor. Yeah, there's no leaking in that. I should have known bloody better, but there's a way I had it to get it up in the bloody trailer on my own. I've locked it on its side and I should have put it on its floor, then got it over here. Stupid me, but anyway. Ah well, at least I know what I'm doing to get this going properly again. A little bit of a little crack, I'll fix that. Bit of a brazing skill, fix that right up. That's not warm. That's just a little bit of whiff inside the oil. It's not warm, not even warm. I'll clean it up and I'll put it away for now, my experiment. I reckon this will perform really well on R152A. That'll pull a lot less than 10 amps, just weighing it in. But I'll experiment with that. I can very easily buy R152A easy over the counter, but it has gone up. It was $20 a can 6 months ago, and it was fluctuated between $16 and $20 a little can. Now it's gone up $22, so it's gone up. Anyway, I'll put this away, put it aside, and it's all closed. The system's closed. It's not going to get damaged. Thanks for watching.